Hi, this is Sweet June coming back at you. I know yesterday when I did my video, my first chat of the year, plans for 2020, I did that video yesterday. I told you guys I was going to do um, women's safety. I'm, I'm gonna those videos are coming up, but before I do that video, I want to address this issue with people are attacking Blue Ivy's looks again. I want to address that because that's apparently, I guess on Twitter, somebody's mentioned it wasn't just Blue Ivy. It was Blue Ivy, Teyana Taylor, and oh, what was that singer's name? It was a singer, Blue Ivy, Teyana Taylor, and a singer. I can't think of it. I can't think of her name right now. But they were attacking all three looks. They said something about this magazine or this news outlet, some type of news outlet. It was a black man and a white woman had said um, both of them made bad remarks about Blue Ivy looking like her dad. You know, it's sad that she's gonna look like her dad or whatever. I really don't want to repeat verbatim what was said. And then they attacked Tiana Taylor and the other lady. I can't think of her name right now. Um, and they said something terrible. I don't really want to repeat what was said, but they said something a horrible statement, basically compared them to dogs. So the other lady, she took to both of those young ladies are very beautiful. Um, Blue Ivy's a very beautiful baby. I am so over people attacking. Why are people talking about a child? Why are people bad mouthing a child? This is what I don't understand. This baby is 7 years old. They've been talking about her. I know that, people get talked about now. I get that. But this child, and she is just a child, first of all. Grown adult people are attacking a 7-year-old baby. They first of all, when she was younger, they talked about her hair. They even had petitions going up. It was a mess. It was a hot mess. Now they're attacking her again. And this news outlet, I forget what it was, where this black male journalist um, and this white woman both attacked her. I'm not gonna really go into it about the white people because with white people you got to kind of consider the source, So that's a whole different situation. With them, you got to kind of consider the source. But with our people, us black people, we should know better. I'm addressing the black people because we should know better. Um, Basically, black men, a lot of people have done videos about. I know this King of Reeds, his name is Justin. He did it. Go check his video out. He did an excellent video talking about how black men are always attacking black women's looks, black women's features, and he did an excellent video and he spoke the truth. And it's everything he said in his video was so true. His channel is King of Reeds. His name is Justin. I don't know what his last name is, but it's his channel is King of Reeds. Check out the brother's video that he just did today. It's excellent. He's touching on so many good points in that video, and it's really sad that, like I said, us black women, we're the most stereotyped, scrutinized, judged women on the planet. And with it, you gotta attack a small child. That's just taking it to a whole nother level. When you got to sit there and you got a bad mouth. First of all, Blue Ivy is not ugly. She's a very beautiful little girl. I think she's starting to look more like her mother. And even if she does look like her father, she's still very beautiful. I happen to think, Jay Z is getting better looking as he gets older. Don't drag me, but it doesn't. True beauty, the Bible says true beauty is on the inside. First of all, let's get that established. The Bible says a person's true beauty is what's on the inside, not outer appearance, because outer appearance beauty fades. And for black men to get on social media, and the one young lady, the singer, I'm trying to find her name in here, the singer, she took to Twitter, and she was very hurt. She was crying and everything, and she was very hurt about the statements that black men made about her and Teyana Taylor. It was a black man that made a comment on Twitter, and a whole bunch of people, shared. I know I tell people to follow me on Twitter, but I'm not hardly on Twitter. I know I need to probably, because I'm telling people to follow me on Twitter. I probably need to start going there more often. But I'm not a big Twitter person, so I haven't been on Twitter for a minute, to be perfectly honest. And I know I tell you guys to follow me on there, but I'm gonna go on there and check some things out. But be honest, I'm just not a big Twitter person. But this guy, he made this comment on Twitter about Teyana Taylor and this other young lady. She's a singer and a model, and she, she came on Twitter. That comment was shared multiple times, and that was the issue with it. He was like, "Well, why y'all tripping?" It was just one comment, but that comment was shared many, many, many times. So it's just this black men. We are the only race of women that get degraded by our own men. This is wrong on so many levels. We are the only race of women that get degraded by our own men. White men don't do it to white women. Asian men don't do it to Asian women. Mexican men don't do it to Mexican women. We are the only race of women that our men degrade us, publicly humiliate us and shame us and degrade us. And they do it in their music. They do it on social media. We got numerous channels here on YouTube where black men are consistently bashing us. They do it on the daily. I'm not going to say any names. They know who they are. And it's really, really sad. It's really, really sad that as black women, we have to be subjected to this. It's really sad. I mean, colorism is that's a whole nother video. And I actually did a video talking about colorism a while back, but I'm going to actually um, probably revisit that topic. But colorism is a horrible disease in the black community. It's what I was talking about the other day about racism. We got to deal with racism on the outside, but then outside of our community, but then we got to deal with it in our own communities. It's really, really sad that we have to deal with it, racism and colorism in our own um, communities and coming from our own men. And it's because a lot of black people are programmed and conditioned. They are programmed and conditioned to. We were programmed and conditioned from the time that our ancestors were brought here to hate ourselves, because that was ingrained in us. Unfortunately, a lot of black people are still programmed and conditioned, and it's really, really sad. Um, a lot of deprogram, a lot of black people have to go through a deprogramming process. I refuse to be brainwashed. I refuse it. Um, we we were taught that our features were ugly. We were taught that our dark skin was ugly, you know, and like lighter skin and white skin was more beautiful. That was ingrained in us, and a lot of black people are still programmed and conditioned. And the sad part about it is a lot of black people don't realize it. Even they realize it, they don't, And so it's really, really taking it to a whole nother level when you attack a child. When you attack a child and you badmouth a child, a black child, what is this baby gonna think when she grows up and she gets a social media account and she gets her little phone and she sees all this stuff that people been saying about her over the years? What is that gonna do to this baby's self-esteem? What is it gonna do to her self-esteem? It's horrible. First of all, children should be off limits. I don't care whose child it is. Us adults, children are innocent. Us adults, we're not so innocent. Okay, so we get talked about, well, we got to take it with a grain of salt and keep going. Our feelings might be a little hurt, whatever, but we got to move on from it. Let it roll off our back in most cases. Um, but because we're not so innocent. But children are the problem with children is children are innocent. They're innocent. And when you badmouth a child, that's just taking it to a whole nother level. People's children should be off limits. People's children should be off limits, period. And when you got a bunch of adults bad mouthing a little child, what does that say? What does that say? I mean, what does that say about you as a person? When you got people putting down and bad mouthing, I had an exchange with a man on here. I'm gonna read you guys. I had an exchange with a guy on here. Now I typically don't go. I typically don't make it a practice of going back and forth. Even when in my comment section, if people make comments about me or comments in my comment section, I typically, I might make one or two comments and I'll leave it alone. I typically don't make it a practice of going back and forth with anybody because I'm not on here to argue with people. I'm not on YouTube to argue or debate with people. I'm not gonna sit here and constantly argue with nobody or whatever or go back and forth with nobody. And I typically don't make it a practice of doing this. But this guy said something. I was on uh, the the ladies this channel, the Patty Jackson channel. Her and her this other lady comes on. She has the long blonde dreads. I like to watch their, they do commentary. They do commentary on the celebrities, and they were talking about Nick Gordon. By the way, Nick Gordon passed away. Rest in peace. They were talking about Nick Gordon. They were talking about Blue Ivy um, being family of Patty Jackson. Yeah, it's Patty Jackson. It's Patty Jackson. Her and her friend. They always come on and they do commentary about the celebrities. Um, yes, it was this. It was this blog where I had this exchange with this guy. And I'm gonna read to you guys what he said. He had the audacity. Hold on. We'll read to you guys what was said. Um, uh, what happened was he had brought Bobby Chris into the conversation. He was insulting Blue Ivy, but then he insulted Bobby Chris, Whitney Houston's daughter, and so I spoke out, you know. So this is the exchange because I'm like, well, why are you talking about her? She's no longer with us. I mean, okay, leave her alone. But this guy, I'm gonna read to you what was said, the exchange that I had with him. Uh, he says, I think this is the beginning of it. Um, but what was so wrong with people saying she looks like her dad? It's true that she does look like him from many angles. She does look like Beyonce from. Well, that was the initial comment he made. Um, and I said, well, I was commenting off of somebody else's comment on here. I said Blue got more money than they do. I was commenting off of somebody else's comment, but that wasn't his comment. Um, Now this is the comment he made after that. He said, "Yes, she has her parents' money and their faces too." He was responding to the comment that I made to the other person that I was speaking to. Um, he said, "Yes, she has her parents' money and their faces too. Poor little girl doesn't stand a chance with her parents pimping her all over social media. At least Blue Ivy isn't as fugly as Bobby Christiana was at that age. Bobby looked like her daddy." Now, that's what he said. I said, don't talk about Bobby Chris. She is no longer here. It's disrespectful. JS, just saying. He said it's not disrespectful. What's disrespectful is acting as if she never existed. Christina was not a cute little girl, and that's a proven fact. It's attacking Bobby Chris. Okay, so I basically checked him on that, and he got mad at me. I says, so in order to acknowledge her existence, I got to attack her looks. I'm of the firm belief if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. She still has one living parent, Bobby Brown, and it is in fact disrespectful to him and hurtful. God don't like ugly. It's interesting how the people that make these negative comments never show their face. Try to be put a little witness in there. And he comes back and he says, no one said you had to call Bobby Christina anything because it's already been said. And if her father had any respect for his daughter or himself, he would not have treated his family the way he did. The true fact is that Bobby Christina was not a good-looking kid, and she has problematic parents who were drug addicts. The girl lived a horrible life, and she died the same way. These are all the facts. I didn't make these up. That's what he says. I said, so in your own words, you can't say, he comes back. Oh, then he comes back. No, this next comment is his too. Then he comes back and he says, so so in your own words, you can't say anything negative about slave owners. Now he brings slavery up, and what my question was, what does slavery had to do with what we were talking about? Slavery had nothing to do with what we was talking about. He brings up slavery. So in your own words, you can't say anything negative about slave owners or white supremacy because you are a firm believer in not saying anything negative about someone. Girl, bye. This is what he says. What does slavery had to do with it? Slavery didn't have nothing to do with this conversation. I comes back and I says, that's not the same thing and you know it. They were doing an action that was wrong. You are clearly attacking someone's looks. That is not okay. And stop deflecting. Like I said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say nothing at all. Plain and simple. That's what I said. That's what I said. He comes back and he says, oh, according to the white man's law, slavery was right until it was deemed wrong. Not my fault Bobby Christina was fugly looking, dead or alive. Her looks as a child will forever remain. I came back and I said, that's true. That's true. Um, well, I didn't say that was true about. Well, he made another comment saying, um, why should I leave Bobby Christina or Blue Ivy alone? I have not said one negative thing about Blue Ivy, and I'm only stating the obvious about Bobby Christina. None of us asked to be born. How about blaming Whitney and Bobby for Bobby Christina's fate, growing up with two crackhead parents and looking like her gap tooth father? And I said that's true, but it's not. I said it was true as far as her parents. I meant it was true as far as her parents being, you know, on drugs. I said, but it is not your judgment, it's God's judgment. Stay in your place and don't do God's job. You are not qualified. Bobby Chris didn't ask to be born, so leave her alone. Rest in peace. Well, I didn't mean to say it was true about her. That I meant it was true about her parents being on drugs. That's what I meant. I got the two statements mixed up. And then I told him, I said, please go back and read my comment again. You are correct. Her parents did, in fact, fail. And that was when I came back and I said, her parents did, in fact, fail her. That's true. But my point was, in God's, it's God's judgment, not ours. So when I said that was true, I wasn't saying her looks, but I was saying, he said that her parents were on drugs. And I said, that's what I meant was true. But I said it's not God, it's your judgment, it's not God's judgment. And so that's what I was telling them. So that's the exchange I had with this guy on here. And, because he was attacking Bobby Chris. And I'm like, she's no longer with us. Why are you attacking her? You know what I mean? So this is what I'm saying. All this name calling people names, calling people ugly, talking about people's kids, it's not okay. It is not okay. You know, I'm just, I'm over it. Black men talking about black women and black children. When you attack somebody's child, you're taking it to a whole nother level. And, like I said, I typically don't go back and forth with people, but this guy, you know, I was like, I had to go there with him because, you know, and after that, I said I was done. You know, I said, please go back and read my comments again. You are correct. Her parents did, in fact, fail her. That's true. But my point was, it's God's judgment, not ours. I'm done. So after that, I said I was done. And like I said, I typically don't retort back and forth with somebody, but he put Bobby Crystal in a situation. He not only attacked Blue Ivy, but he attacked threw Christina in it. She didn't have nothing to do with the conversation. So I'm just over it. I'm just over it. I'm tired of people. I'm tired of people. Black men, putting us down. I'm tired of people talking about Blue Ivy. Leave that baby alone. That baby is beautiful. Um, like I said, I don't know what this is going to do to her self-esteem when she grows up and she reads all these comments about her. I don't know what's going to do to her. So I just wanted to address that. And the young lady that came on, that the guy said something about Teyana Taylor and um, this other young lady. I can't think of her name. Um, I can't think of her name. But I'm trying to find a video with her because a lot of people are talking about it. Uh, I can't find her name. Um, the young lady. Anyway, she took to Twitter and she took to Twitter and she was crying and everything, and she did a video on Twitter. Or no, it wasn't Twitter, it was Instagram. Maybe it was Instagram. She came on Instagram. Maybe it's Instagram or Twitter. Maybe it was Instagram. And she talked about it and she was crying. And it's God don't like ugly. God don't like ugly. And it's not a loving thing to do to attack someone's looks, especially talking about somebody's child. It is not a loving thing to do. Let me know in the comment section what you guys did. You guys read that? Because quite a few people was talking about it here on YouTube. But I just wanted to read. I just wanted to show you guys, read to you guys what I said to this guy. Um, I'm gonna call it out the way it is. You don't have the right to. We don't have the right to judge anybody, talk about bad mouth anybody. If you can't say nothing nice about anybody, don't say nothing at all. And we need to stop with all this colorism in the black community. We need to reprogram our people. We need to reprogram our minds. Black features are beautiful. Black features are not ugly. And we need to do a reprogramming of our minds, because white people got a lot of black people programmed and conditioned to think that black skin and black features are ugly, and light skin and white skin and white features are beautiful. So we got a lot of black people got to deprogram their thinking. I don't get caught up like that. I know better. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Did you see that? Did you see those videos? Did you hear about that? Um, Please like, subscribe, and share. I got some more interesting video topics coming up. This peace and love. This is Sweet June.